Teens share everything. That may include the bacteria that can cause meningococcal disease known as meningitis. Even if your teen's been vaccinated in the past, they could still be missing meningitis vaccinations. Ask your teen's doctor or visit meningitis.com today. Sponsored by GSK.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session. This one has no music background on it. The particular client I worked with here prefers not to have music as the background for their sessions. They'd recently gone through a particular type of heart surgery and felt immediately better. They felt with a new lease of life. They were approaching their 80th birthday, and what they wanted was a hypnosis session to really feel that this was going to be a new chapter of possibility, positivity, and a real sense that they were making new choices and they wanted it to come from a really empowered place. Now, I appreciate it's probably unlikely that if you're listening to this, that either or both of these things are likely to be true for you. It's unlikely you've had heart surgery, and it's unlikely that you've recently or are about to turn 80. Where this hypnosis session really helps anyway is if you really feel that the next part of your life, you want to be very intentional, and you want to live life with a new level of intensity and positivity that you haven't had historically, then this will be useful for you. It uses a metaphor of almost like a supernatural book, and books are quite often used in movies to symbolize spells and even portals somewhere to different things. If you think of a book of spells or a book of magic, they have that connotation. This is what's used in this session to use something called incantations. Incantations are like affirmations, but they're kind of stated as hypnotic suggestions in this particular sense. Now, they're all very empowering, very positive about new lease of life, healing, possibility, extracting all the wisdom from the past and moving it forward. So even though you probably haven't had heart surgery and definitely aren't turning 80, you might get some real value from this session anyway. Treat it as a metaphor. And also, if you prefer these hypnosis sessions without the theta wave music, let me know in the comments for that. And if you do like the idea of a bespoke session just for you, there will be a link in the show notes where you get a discounted consultation call. You just have to use the coupon code podcast. That will give you half price on any consultation calls, and then we can discuss a session just for you. But for now, this session might be useful. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in relaxation, and as you exhale, if they aren't already, just allow your eyelids to close. And with your eyes closed, notice how much easier it becomes to focus on the sound of my voice, breathing in relaxation and releasing any tension, stress, any worries. That's it. And as you breathe in and breathe out, give yourself permission to start drifting inwards. Because somewhere there is a room you've never visited before. And yet, the moment you step inside, something within you immediately recognizes it. Like the air is different here. Older, quieter. A particular ambience, a quality to the light. And at the very center of the room, I want you to imagine a book. A book resting on a stand of dark wood, bound in deep leather, the color of midnight. And even from here, you can see that the cover catches the light in a way that ordinary things do not. A shimmer, a pulse, almost as though the book itself is breathing. And as you move towards the book, something settles there in your chest, like a slowing, a deepening. Each step carries you further into stillness, and the stillness welcomes you. The sounds of the ordinary world grow faint, and not because they are gone, but because something more important is happening here, in this room within your imagination, within this book. And with every breath, allow yourself to sink more completely into the felt sense of this place. Imagine approaching the book, reaching the book. Your hand rests on the cover, and as it does, imagine feeling a warmth there, a familiar warmth, as though this thing has known you for a very long time. Imagine opening that book, and there, in the most exquisite handwriting you've ever seen, are the pages of your life. And as you turn those early chapters slowly, you see them not with sadness and not with grief, but with the quiet authority of someone who knows that everything that happened for a reason, that every chapter, every paragraph, even the difficult ones, were in some way necessary, shaping you, steering you. I want you to see the past with a new lens, not of things that happened to you, but as your history that happened for you. I want you to get a new perspective as you allow memories to flow. Firsts, accomplishments, achievements, overcoming adversity, significant milestones. Continue until you get past the halfway point and see the book is big, but it reaches a point until you finally reach a blank page. Consider this: the first blank page of the next chapter. And at the top of that page, in letters that seem to write themselves as you look at them, 80 years of living, 80 years of knowing, and now the next chapter begins. I want you to look at those words with your heart, that new, strong, open heart. Feel as it beats steadily as you experience those words. And you notice the rhythm feels different now. Stronger, more fluid, more certain. The way water sounds when it finally moves without obstruction. And now from somewhere in this room, perhaps from the walls or from the light itself, you become aware of a sound. Not quite music and not quite words. Something older than both. These are the incantations, words of power that have existed for as long as stories have. Words that do not merely describe reality, they create it. Imagine as you hear them being spoken now, into the very chambers of your heart, into the pathways of your breath, into every cell that is right now, in this moment, doing its miraculous work. I call into being a body that knows how to heal. I call into being a heart that moves freely, fully, with ease. I call into being the breath of a new beginning. And I call into being the strength of 80 years refined to its essence. And somewhere inside you feel a response to these words. Not just a thought, something quieter and deeper than thought. A recognition from the part of you that has been waiting for this moment. Perhaps months, years, maybe longer. Because the body knows. And your body has always known. I want you to connect with an idea that a procedure was in fact a miracle. And miracles are not accidents. What if they are the universe responding to readiness, and that you were ready? There is a particular kind of knowing that cannot be put into words, not for a medical team, not for yourself. An intuitive certainty that healing is happening, that something has shifted at a level deeper than scans can show. Feel this and carry this feeling of intuitive healing now. I call into being the intelligence of this healing body. And I call into being the certainty that what was restored stays restored. I call into being in every room I enter from this day forward. I call into being the next chapter, written in full, of calmness, confidence, and possibility. And so the heart that once laboured now moves with a new valve, engineered to perfection, designed for longevity, and seated now as though it was always meant to be there, which perhaps it was. Perhaps the body has simply been waiting for what it always deserved. And the chapter that opens now carries that new rhythm, that new lease of life. Everything that comes next, a new home, possibility, light through unfamiliar windows, is written in the very ink of this moment. Not the energy of someone arriving at an ending. The energy of someone who has just stepped through a wonderful door of possibility and opportunity. I call into being rest that restores. I call into being sleep that heals. I call into being a mind that is calm and a body that follows that calmness. I call into being patience with the pace of recovery, knowing what is being built is built to last. And I call into being the writer's eye, seeing clearly, recording truly, and sharing what matters most. Because every morning from here forward is a new page, and the reader of that page, the one who turns it with anticipation rather than dread, is you. You have earned the right to write this chapter exactly as you choose. No one else holds the pen, and no one else holds that level of responsibility. And as you know deep down, with great power comes great responsibility. But your 80 years of wisdom has equipped you to deal with such power. You are someone who has come through. You are someone whose heart beats with renewed strength. You are now 80 years young, and the richest, most vibrant chapter of your life is being written now, because you are a healer of your own life and a witness to others. You are the author of what comes next. I want you to get a feeling of wonder, of possibility, but also that what you are writing now in this chapter goes beyond just the chapter. Because what you do in life will echo into eternity. And as you plant that seed of an idea, knowing that miracles are real, knowing that a new lease of life has arrived, that new choices, decisions shape your future, it is now time to leave the book and the room and start to emerge with a whole new level of wonder and belief. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, knowing the book is still open for you, that blank pages are waiting. There are mountain trails to walk, new foods to taste, new experiences to experience. And you know, with a certainty that settles somewhere below the mind, that you will feel and fill those blank pages, that the words are already in you, that the chapter ahead has a vitality that the previous ones, for all of their richness, could not have had. Because you now know something that you could not have known before. You now know what it means to have a heart that has been opened, restored, and set beating again with wonderful new intentions. Feel those miracles are real. Feel the incantations resonating and vibrating at a cellular level. And connect with the wonderful future in the blank pages ahead, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.